What's up everyone, this is Angel Talk, and today we're doing a biker's reflection on the Prodigal Son. So in other words, the long ride home. Now, the rumble of the engine, the endless ribbon of tarmac unspooling ahead, that's often where I find my peace. Just me and the bike, the world fading away in the mirrors. But sometimes that open road can feel like too open, a little too lonely. And that's when I think about that old story, the one about the Prodigal Son. He was a young buck, itching for freedom, for his own stretch of highway. He could wait for his inheritance, that early payout. Will that sound familiar? Maybe we've all felt that urge to break free, to chase the horizon on our own terms. Consequences can be damned sometimes. He took his share, that foolish kid, and roared off into the distance, probably thinking he was living the dream. Wind in his hair, throttle wide open, I've got my inheritance, I'm off. But the road isn't always kind. The money ran out. Fair weather friends vanished like exhaust fumes in the wind, and suddenly that freedom felt more like being stranded on a deserted back road with an empty tank. He had hit rock bottom, scraping by, probably wishing he'd just stayed put under the old man's roof. I've had those moments on the road, maybe not quite that dramatic, but times when I've pushed it too far, taken risks I shouldn't have, ended up in a tight spot relying on the kindness of others. That feeling of being lost, of realising you messed up, and there's no easy way back. It hits you hard, like a sudden pothole you didn't see coming. The son finally swallowed his pride. He knew he'd burnt bridges, acted like a fool. He could hope for what was little grace, what he thought at least, a chance to just be a hired hand. He wasn't expecting a party, not after the way he'd ridden off and the mess he'd made. And that's the bit that always gets me, the father. He wasn't waiting with a lecture or a list of chores. He saw his boy coming down the long, dusty road, and his heart just leaped. He ran, this old man, he ran, probably tripping over his robes, just to embrace his wayward son. He didn't say, "I told you so." He just offered open arms and a feast. Now that's the kind of love that stops you in your tracks, like a deer in the headlights. It's not about what you deserve, it's about a love that welcomes you back, no matter how far you've strayed, or how many wrong turns you've taken. As bikers, we value our independence, our solo rides, but that story reminds me that even when we ride alone, we're not truly beyond the reach of that kind, unconditional love. It's like that feeling when you've been out on a long, cold ride, and you finally see the lights of home, knowing there's warmth and welcome waiting. Maybe our lives aren't always smooth as asphalt. We hit gravel, we break down, we make mistakes. But like that prodigal son, the road home is always open, and there's a love waiting that's bigger than any wrong turn we might take. It's a reminder that even when we feel like we've ridden too far, there's always a chance to turn back and find a welcome that's more than we could ever deserve. And that, my friends, is a ride worth remembering. God our Father in heaven is always there to welcome us back. This has been Angel Talk. Remember, it's not just about the destination, but also the journey. Don't forget to say hi in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.